This is Another Man's Nostalgia with John.
You always say this. Do you want to say the plot? Mind if I say it?
Okay, I did the plot. Alright,
Okay.
Not what I
Chris
said,
just said I haven't done the plot in a while, and you said, okay, I'll do it.
oh, I thought you said you haven't done the plot in a while.
Chris.
So I also have an I and am in my name, so I made my own. My name.
Is it like a site?
It's I am Zax Topper Jester.
And Justin.
I wish it would wipe my memory.
The episode starts now.
Hello everybody, welcome to Another Man's Nostalgia, where we revisit everybody's favorite shows, movies, and games from the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. Alright boys, it's, what did we call this again?
The live action trash trilogy.
Live Action Trash Trilogy.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm
this
so
may be
excited
the-
about this, guys.
This may be the second worst
This is-
one.
The second worst out of the two?
Yeah,
Or out of
three.
everything?
Out of the three.
We'll rank them when
We haven't watched one of them yet.
Yeah, it's already the worst, John.
I already
Dragon
know
Ball
it's gonna
Z
be the
movie.
You don't know that. You don't know. Don't say that. You
I
don't
just
know
know
that.
by the name. It's pretty obvious.
Whatever. No, it's not obvious. It's gonna be great. You just don't know. It's
right.
just gonna be great.
You have any nostalgia news, John?
I
I
have
have a
some things-
couple.
I don't really have nostalgia. I just have a couple things to talk about. A big trailer got released soon, or like I guess a
Week ago.
week ago,
Aladdin?
and then we haven't talked about it. Aladdin. It was great. Did you guys enjoy it?
I literally said when the genie popped up, "Oh no!" That was my audible reaction.
Why did he look so bad? Even on CGI, he looked terrible.
And you know, I saw some of the Instagram comments where people were saying, you shouldn't, we should wait. No, I'm sorry. The design was not good.
No, it's not.
He shouldn't have been as human as he looked. Make him more cartoony.
You think so?
I think so. I think that would have helped because he looks too real. And it's really unsettling.
Do you think that's Will Smith's body that they use? Because he's pretty thick.
I'm
He's
pretty sure they did.
That's a pretty thick.
He's what?
They motion
He's in his
captured
50s
him.
now, right? Yeah.
You think so?
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
it was bad.
It was bad. It was I'm looking at like a thing of it right now, and it just looks terrible.
It's nightmare-inducing, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Next.
Okay. Daniel Radcliffe is thinking that they will probably reboot Harry Potter. Like that is a thing that is kind of going around, and he thinks that it's probably going to happen.
Well, yeah, they'd be
So-
stupid not to redo it in a few more years. Like, that's one of the easiest predictions to make.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think you think that's a smart move by
I'm
by
sorry,
the Harry Potter
but
franchise?
this is not some super big like revelation that he's making here. They have like in all these fucking theme parks, of it. People go crazy for any little tidbit that Rowling throws out to people. They're going to remake this, and they're going to remake it multiple times over the next 50 to 60 years. And I'm kind of excited to see the different interpretations.
They might do a Lord of the Rings situation where they like put it on Amazon or something and have a TV series where they go more in depth than the movies did. I see that happening before actually is making brand new movies, all 7 of them straight.
Yeah, I think a TV series is probably going to be the next thing, and then they'll make movies. But within the next 50 to 60 years, this thing is going to get remade at least, like I said, 2 or 3 times.
I don't like the idea.
I don't mind it.
That's just me. I just don't like the idea.
You know what they should do to make people like it more? Either A, have Harry be a woman, or black. People will love that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you've seen the Ghostbusters, how successful that was. They should do that with Harry Potter.
All right. The actress who did Hermione on the stage show, The Cursed Child, they actually cast her. She was black,
And fans loved it.
well, that wasn't because of her. It was because the show was terrible. It's
Well, I'm
basically
sure people still freaked out.
spoilers about the cursed child. It's basically another just a big time travel shit show.
I don't.
That's
Even,
fantastic.
I don't even know
It's
what
bad.
the
You don't need to
timeline when
read
it
it.
comes to the cursed child
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah,
Um,
that's all my nostalgia news. Do you have
I have
any,
a,
do you
I
have
have a
any more,
little
Chris?
bit. Yeah. The PlayStation Classic. You know how that terrible thing came out? Well, it came out for $100. Now they're selling it for $40 at Walmart. So if you want one, you get it severely discounted.
Go get one.
And I wouldn't because what happened was the ROMs, which are the files that the games are played on, are the
Right.
PAL versions. And according to people like who wrote the articles about it, it's all over the gaming websites. It doesn't play up to the frames per second it's supposed to. So it's knocked down to 30 frames or 25 frames per second.
And I'm sorry, but why would you ever think it's a good idea to release a 3D console with the original just D-pad controller? Get the DualShock in there.
That would have been fine if they just picked better games.
Yeah, that's true. But
Now,
they didn't.
they had
They
a couple.
picked-
They had a couple of good ones: Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear, but they chose the wrong Twisted Metal, and then they just had these random shitty games. Like some of them are okay, but there weren't things that you think classic PlayStation. The problem is they already remastered the other ones like Spyro and Crash, so you couldn't include them, or you cannibalize your remastered sales.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is doing very well.
yeah.
It's doing very well. when it
I
comes to
finished it
sales.
recently.
Is it good?
Oh yeah, is it good?
I love the game. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I caught
Good.
myself up on the games I didn't play, and I enjoyed it. It was a nice little romp. It was fun. The action is a lot smoother. It's really
Hey, what's the definition of romp?
just a fun little jog through Disney worlds.
A fun little romp.
I'll tell you the Toy Story
Are
one.
you using the word in the definition? Because I hate when people do that.
I'll tell you though, the Toy Story world and the Monster Inc.'s world were some of my favorites.
Were they?
They were pretty fun to play.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, are we ready to dig into this great movie? It was awesome.
John, Justin, what do we watch this week?
So, my movie for the live-action Trash Trilogy is none other than The Last Airbender, or
Yes.
the Avatar adaptation movie there.
Yes.
And it was interesting to say the least.
It was something, that's for sure. Wow.
That's
let's
all
talk
I
about
can say.
history.
Okay, I rented this on iTunes to watch this,
Me too.
and it had a 2-star rating
Yeah.
and an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. It might be a little bit higher
8%.
now. It was 8 when it came out, for sure.
So a little
That's
backstory.
terrible.
Yeah.
Little backstory.
What's the worst on Rotten Tomatoes?
There's some zeros
There's
on
some
there.
zeros.
I think that John Travolta Grotti movie, that was a 0%.
Yeah.
A little backstory on
Yes.
seeing this. So we all saw this together.
Right.
We met
right.
at my house.
Except for John.
Yeah, John met us
was
at the
there.
theater or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
No, I was there.
He was
I
too-
was at your house.
Why didn't you wear the shirt?
I could tell you he was
Because I
too
didn't
cool
want
for
to,
the shirt.
because I told you the movie was going to be awful.
Yeah, we all wore shirts of different.
You
different
all
elements.
made shirts. Yes.
We went to Hobby Lobby and we bought some really shitty paint and shitty shirts, and we
Yep.
made each other. We were each different bending
Yep.
practices. And
Yeah, no. I really did think that was stupid.
I think you're stupid.
you were.
And then
Your party
Justin
pooper.
got some. Justin got some permanent tattoos like Aang.
I did.
I'm sorry, Ong.
It's on my forehead still. I got
It
the
is so
arrow.
important. Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
hyped.
and then
We were
we
hyped.
went. I was really pumped. I have a funny story about the trailer. So I was with a friend of ours, and we were going to see How to Train Your Dragon, and they had a trailer for it beforehand where they had the Avatar trailer, and it was really loud music and stuff, and it looked really cool. The trailers for this movie were pretty good, except for the fact they didn't have any dialogue in it. They just showed you scenes of the, but like,
And you can figure out why when you saw it.
Exactly. But the scenes they had were like it's spot on with the animation. So everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be so true to it. And we saw it, and she turned to me and said, "Boner," but the music had cut off right when she said it, and everybody heard and started laughing, and she was quite embarrassed, as you can imagine. But anyways, and then we went and saw it, and slowly as we watched, our smiles turned into frowns, and we got
Me and
very
Chris were
upset.
seeing we were looking up at Rotten Tomatoes, and we were like, "Oh, it's the early reviews. It's all right. It's gonna be good."
It's gonna be good. They didn't see the original content. They don't know what it is. No, it's bad. It's real bad.
Oh,
And I remember I was so pissed because I remember we spent like an extra like $3 on the 3D version of it, and the 3D was the title and nothing else. You guys remember that? Nothing about it was 3D. There was no eye-popping cool stuff. I was like, they just ripped us off.
I purged it from my memory.
I was pissed.
I didn't think this movie was gonna be good from the jump. I didn't like the trailers. I thought the trailers, they were very clunky.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was gonna be good. And I was right. And I feel like I could rub this in your faces because I was I was spot on when it came to this.
If you want to feel good about being right about this movie being terrible and crushing our dreams, you go ahead and do that.
That's what I got to say about that.
That's
Okay.
right.
No, that's
Just
fine.
flipping them off.
No, I'll do that. Stop it. I don't want to see that.
All right, so that's our history of this movie. We love the cartoon. We talked about the cartoon last season, and now we're doing this thing.
Unfortunately,
I want to mention something before we get into, I guess, like the plot and everything like that. This movie, it didn't do a really good job of staying close to the cartoon that we watched when we were little. It did not.
it did do a good
It
job
did.
of many things.
No, I mean it did an okay job of like sticking true to. Why would you? All right, let's just go ahead and talk about the names. Why would you change the names?
I
It's
guess
not
that's
like
the correct pronunciation.
But then
of the names.
you cast a bunch of white people.
yeah, it's a bunch of white guys.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's wrong with you? All right, who wants to say the plot of this stupid
Let's
thing?
let John. I don't want to do
All right,
this.
John.
Okay, so it's just like the TV show
No.
where you have this character and he is the Avatar. He can control 4 elements when it comes to
Yeah.
water, fire, earth, and wind. And he is stuck in the ice. These 2 people release him. A bunch of crap happens really, really fast. They say he's the Avatar. They find out he's the Avatar. He gets upset. He goes to the
bitch.
spirit world. The spirit world was stupid
Yeah.
in this movie. Goes to the
Terrible.
spirit world, finds out what he needs to do, starts to do it. He ends up going to the Earth villages and frees the Earth villages from the Fire Nation, which is trying to control the world. And then ends up at the Northern Water Temple. It's Northern Water Temple, right? Not South.
Just Northern Water
North.
Tribe.
Yeah. Northern Water Tribe gets there, finds out the Fire Nation is going to kill 2 spirits. The Fire Nation kills one of the spirits. A bunch of crap happens. A person becomes the spirit.
The moon.
The moon. Yeah, they literally killed the moon
Yeah.
in this movie.
We are going to steal.
Pause for effect.
Yeah.
A person becomes the moon, and then because the moon is a really big deal when it comes to the waterbenders in the Northern Water Tribe, the Water Tribe defeats the Fire Nation that went there, and Ong helped. Ong helped them.
Ong. We're
It
saying
sounds
Ong
really
the whole time.
stupid
helped them.
if this was the cartoon, but it makes much more sense in the cartoon.
It does. And like honestly, John, like you saying that plot was almost as long as this movie was. This movie was so short.
So short compared to all the content that was in the cartoon.
If you're
let's,
gonna make
let's
a
say it like
movie-
that, because the movie was an hour and 40 minutes, which is considered it's considered a long-ish movie.
It's actually an hour and 30 if you take out all the stupid credits. And my argument is, if you're gonna make a movie based on a TV show, you gotta make it long. You gotta make it like 2 hours and 10 minutes, something like that, to make sure that an extra 30 minutes of this movie would have been awesome.
Yeah, it probably would have been, but it maybe it would have been just more 30 minutes of crap. You know, like
Could
you
be.
don't
Could be.
really
That's
know what they would have added to it to make it better.
What do you?
It would have been a little bit better because the way that they told some of the things, some of the scenes that they didn't show in the movie, they just kind of said them out loud, and it was like 2 or 3 really good shows that they just verbally said in like 2 sentences. Which
Right.
it disappointed me a little bit because they were some of my favorite shows that they just kind of mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Homebrewed Tree Service has been providing the DFW area with a world-class tree care for many years. When it comes to tree services in the DFW area, you can trust them to provide quality work, low prices, friendly, and fair customer service. When you have a tree that needs to be pruned, or you need to, or if you need complete removal and haul off service, you can count on them for a wide range of expert tree care. Go to www.hbtreeservice.com and sign up for a free estimate.
All right, so I have some interesting tidbits that might interest y'all.
Are you not calling them fun
I was about to
facts?
say, are we doing fun facts? Because you need to do a fun facts theme for this.
I was trying to organically move into it. by
No, 'cause
saying
this
interesting
show-
No,
tidbits.
let's just this is good. Balls
for it.
in right now.
Here we go. Balls in. Here we go.
The fun facts balls in.
Fun facts theme of this shitty movie. A shitty rendition of the show's
Yes.
theme song for a shitty movie.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with the script because y'all were talking about how long this movie is. It originally included all episodes. How long do you think the movie script was for all 20 episodes?
Probably about 3 hours. 3.5.
Yeah, 5 hours.
7.5 hours.
Dang.
Woo!
So they
I would've wanted to
they
see
were going
that.
to cut it down.
I would want to see that. That sounds awesome.
A 7-hour movie. It's half your day.
Put an intermission in there. It's fine.
The budget was the most expensive movie ever produced by Nickelodeon,
Oh.
with 100,
What was second?
150
SpongeBob?
million.
Ninja Turtles probably.
150 million as a production budget, with 130 million advertising.
Oh,
They
a lot of money.
they wanted this to
They did
succeed.
advertise the shit out of this movie.
they did.
I remember
Well, and they wanted sequels
seeing
too.
it everywhere.
They were pushing
Yeah.
us hard.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
they wanted sequels for sure.
Okay,
Let's
hey,
talk
hold
about-
on. Did they make a lot of money off of this movie?
No, I mean, that's a good question
No.
because I feel like kids still went and saw this.
Yes.
I don't,
No, they
I don't
didn't.
believe
So they didn't
did.
make enough money?
I mean, it wasn't enough money to make a sequel. Let me see.
They basically made their budget back at 319 million.
Okay, yeah.
I really thought that this movie made like a lot of money. It was #1 in the box office for sure opening weekend.
Probably so.
Now I remember it being that.
Was it?
Yes.
It made budget, but it was not a success. It only grossed
Right.
it grossed 131 domestically and 319 worldwide. So
Gotcha.
it didn't even make it back domestically.
No, it didn't. Dang.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Because it was opening weekend. Like everyone doesn't really know how the movie is,
Right.
so I can see it making like a lot of money opening weekend. But then up after that, everyone just probably said, "Hey, don't go see this. This is a shitty movie."
This is how
Right.
bad it
Yeah,
was.
listen.
At their own Nickelodeon Awards show, they didn't even nominate Avatar for anything. So the
They
Kids
didn't nominate
Choice
its own movie.
the Kids Choice Awards, nothing about Last Airbender was there.
Not even for like special effects or anything.
Nothing.
Not
Not
even
even best
acting.
kiss.
Oh my
No.
God, this is
Why
awful
acting?
He's awful acting.
Does
I was being
Ong
very
and
sarcastic.
Does Ong and Katere do they kiss?
They
in this
do
movie?
say, hey, they say Katara. They say,
I know, but I
they
was
say
gonna-
Katara in
I'm
this.
gonna pronounce them all wrong.
Let's talk about Ong for a second. Let's talk
So
about him.
yeah, they changed Ong to Aang, or they changed Aang to Ong. Which
Right.
is there a fun fact behind that? Like, did the director
He-
say anything about it? Or?
Shyamalan just wanted to respect the culture or whatever. He wanted the traditional way of saying it.
Okay,
Alright.
how did he find out the traditional way of saying that name?
No idea. look, if that was the worst thing about this movie, I wouldn't be complaining about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna call them all different by their by different names.
Let's talk about
Unga Kong.
let's talk about Aang for a second. Noah Rayner. All right, so
Poor guy.
I don't want to harp on him too much. I'm more harping on the way they casted him. So I want to speak. I'm not hating on this 11-year-old kid because this was
This
his
little kid.
Was he
his
11 years
dream
old?
role.
Because he's supposed
Yeah.
to play 11-year-old, so he was
Yes.
11.
Yeah, he was that age.
He was really good at martial arts, right?
This was his dream role. He always
Yeah.
wanted to be Aang. So he submitted an audition tape of himself doing martial arts with a completely shaved head, and he had all of his arrow tattoos to Paramount. This is what won him the role.
How can you say no to that?
That's literally what got him the role, though. No talking.
No acting ability.
So if I shave my head and put an arrow on me and just put a
Well, you also
did a
have to be
bunch
a-
of karate moves.
You also
I
have to
could've
be
been
a award-winning martial artist because that's
Oh,
what he was.
You didn't know I was?
I'm
And possibly
gonna assume no, John, you were not.
possibly shave the beard too. That might help.
But yeah, he was
I'm an 11-year-old.
all that. All the martial arts and stuff. That was him. He is a very good. He's a very good martial artist. Here's the worst part. Whatever they sent him to, the acting school they sent him to, did not help.
No, it didn't. And again, it's not his fault. I mean, he.
Okay, I didn't think that he was the worst actor. I think his lines were stupid, and the way they portrayed Aang was dumb.
Let's talk about who the worst actor was.
Sokka.
Sokka.
Sokka. Yeah, we all
Worst
agree.
actor.
Jackson Rothbone
Yeah.
Yeah,
of the acclaimed Twilight series.
He's from Twilight.
Is he?
Yes.
Dreamboat. Yeah. Have y'all seen
I
him?
didn't know
Like,
he
an
was
interview
from.
with
I didn't
him?
know he was from anything, but this guy, he had no emotion.
Yeah.
The whole
We can
entire
hate
time.
on him all we want. He was an adult. This dude is a shitty actor.
So, are you the Avatar Ong?
Was this his dream role?
No, it wasn't.
Is
He
to
wanted
play
money.
Sokka?
So Kay.
So Kay.
Okay, so I remember like right before the movie came out, I watched a interview with him where he was talking about Avatar and Twilight. And I was remember thinking, this guy is the biggest douchebag in the world. He was so full of himself for being part of two like movies like this. What's he doing now? Nothing. He's alone.
He's alone.
Do you know
He
who
ain't
was-
married. He had no kids.
Actually, I think he is married, but because I looked it up, I was like, who had ever loved this? And then somebody did.
Do you want to know who was supposed to play Sokka?
Who?
Zac Efron.
That would have worked better.
He's got some comedic chops.
He's a good
I was
actor.
about to say he's a better actor.
For sure.
He's a definitely better actor than him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesse McCartney was supposed to be Zuko.
I like the guy they have for Zuko.
Yeah, not Dante Baxter. Sorry, Dev Patel is really good.
He's Slumdog Millionaire, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Fall
was
from
way
fame
above
real
this movie.
But
He was too
did-
good for this movie.
Okay, but here's the thing. Some of the people that acted in this movie, some of them, yes, there are bad actors, but I feel some of them could be good actors. They just didn't utilize them very well. They
This
gave
is
them
definitely-
very horrible lines, and the way that they portrayed the characters was awful. That the,
Yeah,
that
I
the
agree.
writers did.
A lot of this is
Yeah.
definitely writing, but some of it is just they're not good actors. Nicola Peltz, I don't think is very good. She plays Katara. I think she's too
Katay-Ray.
I think she's too whiny. Katara's
She's
like
not a
this
good actress
strong.
either.
Katara's supposed to be like this strong female character, and she plays her so like damsel in distress. Which once again they might have told her to do that, but it just did not. It was not a good portrayal at all, even if it was writing.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Okay, hey, so let's talk about some of the openings and stuff like that. So the opening of the movie was the showing of the four elements, just like the cartoon does, during the theme song. So how
Pretty
did
good
how
intro.
did you guys feel about that? Did you guys?
I liked it.
I got hyped when I saw it.
I didn't realize that it actually had it. I don't remember it being. I don't remember the movie starting out like that when I saw it in theaters. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Now the graphics were kind of shitty, but the way
Dude,
that they did
you
it
could
was
like
kinda
see.
cool.
You could see they're like on it. They're like the red screen behind it was a curtain. You see,
I
like
didn't
waves
notice-
in it and
No,
stuff.
I didn't notice
Yeah.
that. I watched it.
That didn't
on-
bother
I
me
watched
too
it on my
much.
phone, so I didn't really notice any of like the big details like that. But I'm sure Chris watched it on his 70-inch TV.
Yeah, compensating for as much. You know what I mean?
It's not as bad as the green screen work, especially in the very first few scenes in the snow.
Right.
You could see the
Yeah,
outline
you're right.
of the screen around
So-
their body.
So the opening of the movie was just like the opening of the TV show, where you see Ong in the ice and Zuko, Katara and what's his name?
So gay.
Okay. And Sokka,
Yeah.
they rescue Aang from the ice. And
Oh, one thing I
thought it
forgot
was-
to add.
Yeah.
Sorry, one thing I forgot to add. Do you remember the Power Rangers movie we watched in season 1?
Yes.
How they had like the whole like thing about how Zordon and everything they're scrolling up like Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this did.
Yeah, it's true.
It did.
Yeah.
I
No,
just
no, it
I
did
put
tell-
that down.
it did.
I said
tell
they
the
did the Power Ranger movie scrolling.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Star Wars, yeah. It did like a description of what's going on. So it described that Aang or the Avatar has been missing for like 100 years, right? And then there's a Fire Nation.
Just
like,
remake
war.
the opening.
If you're gonna have her narrate, why would you not
Remake the opening.
just not
Animate
have the
it.
words,
It- you
or
could-
have the words and not have her narrate?
You can animate it.
Animating would have been good. I
Yeah.
feel like because what did they do? Recently it was Black Panther. Black Panther did
Yeah.
a really good animation of like their backstory,
Yeah, it's true.
and
I agree.
So yeah, they definitely could have did that. That would have been
Mm-hmm.
a lot better than just narrating, hey, exactly what's going on.
So, Aang goes back to the their camp, and the Fire Nation attacks.
Yep.
Just
did
like
y'all
in the
like Graham
just
Graham?
just like in the cartoon. It happened just
like
like
in the
that in the
cartoon.
cartoon. The first episode too, right?
What?
First episode too, like it did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graham Graham was terrible on this.
Who is that? Graham? Oh yeah.
Like she had no, there was nothing funny about her. She was just there
Yeah.
to exposition.
Did you guys think that if you guys really think about this, this was episodes 1 through 3 where they go to the Southern Air Temple, episode with the Blue Spirit, and then the last 2 episodes, and then everything else was kind of like 10 minutes just like crammed in there of like the rocks and stuff like that. That's literally the entire movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
No,
Yes.
you're right.
like they took bits and parts. Like when they were trying to save. So after they all meet up and everybody gets happy and they get away from the Fire Nation, they go to the prison encampment. But that's supposed to be where they're on the boat, the metal boat, where
Right.
they can't fire.
Yeah.
They can't earthbend. Why in the world
Right.
wouldn't they earthbend in the camp?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like rocks everywhere.
Like they're one of the Fire Nations were the only people who can't bend whenever they want.
And I like how there's like 5
Right.
guys, and it takes 5 guys to do like 30 moves to get that little rock that any of them could have just probably picked up and thrown.
Here's what happened.
that?
This is what happened. Shyamalan probably did this. Look, I had to cut a bunch from the movie. I want you to spend 2 minutes just doing a bunch of martial arts shit, and we'll add it in
Exactly.
post.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
It's so terrible.
Okay.
John, how you like that? John, how you like that cooler?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm using right now. I'm drinking a beer, and I'm drinking Blood and Honey. It's a Revolver. It's my favorite beer right now. And Chris got me a little can cooler for my beer, and it's awesome. I like it. The bottom of it unscrews, and you can put it in the freezer, and that's how it is right now.
Yeah.
It keeps it cold. No, I like it a lot.
Cool.
So we keep talking about like the comparisons when it comes to the TV show and the movie. What episode would you like to see that they didn't portray in the movie? I would have liked to see the episode where they go to the Fire Nation and they meet Fire Lord Ozan, and they learn about the solstice.
Yeah, they don't do a solstice at all, do
No,
they?
they did-
Who's
they
Fire
didn't-
Lord Ozon?
Ozai.
Ozai, sorry. Sorry.
He's gonna be called Ozon in the movie because it's from the
My
movie.
bad.
It's different.
Okay. I would
Thanks,
have
Shyamalan.
liked to see that, and then you find out about the solstice and everything like that, and then you
Yeah.
I thought that would have
That'd
been a
been
really
cool.
good episode
Yeah,
because you could portray that in a movie.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You could.
That would
could've been-
require
that
effort, though.
could have been.
I think-
the 30 minutes
I would've-
that was missing.
Yeah, exactly. I would have liked to see some effort in the spirit world.
Oh, they did.
I
They
think
did
it's
such a
over.
shitty job in the spirit world.
Yeah, I don't know
And-
like why.
and they just
fleshed
and they
that
just
out
showed
more.
they just showed his dragon. Ozai's dragon. They didn't show him.
yeah.
That wasn't
As-
even his dragon. It was literally a new character with the dragon and all the spirits combined.
Cutting edge. They're really creative, aren't
was-
they?
It was a bad decision.
Seriously?
They're terrible.
I guess let's go to what we thought was cool about the movie.
Yeah, I have a couple things I
It's
think.
gonna take
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead, John.
I thought going to the cases, so they showed him escape from Zuko, which was cool. I
Yeah.
kind of like that part.
Yeah.
When at the very beginning of the movie, just like the cartoon, he escaped from Zuko's ship, and he flies off.
Uh-huh.
I guess I could say I liked what they resemble from the cartoon. They didn't go to like a lot of original things. I like that they did stick to the storyline when it came to the cartoon. Now it was very, very fast paced, but I did like that aspect of it. I didn't like my favorite. Is it Blue Spirit? Is that what the episode's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Spirit was my favorite episode during the cartoon. I don't feel like they did a good portrayal of it during the show, or during the movie. During the movie, sorry.
I agree that they. I don't know. I disagree with that. I think that they did a really good job. I think the fight scene was awesome. It was just probably just as good as the cartoon.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best. That's the better part of the movie.
See, I disagree with that. I think the last part of the movie is better than part of the movie when it came to when they're at the Northern Air Temple. Or the Northern Air.
I think you're wrong.
Are
Northern
you?
Water Tribe.
Am I?
Just a little bit.
So,
okay.
okay. So, what do you disagree when it comes to that part of the movie? Because I thought it was my best part. I thought it was the best part of the movie, the last part of the movie. So, what do you think?
The best part of the movie was. I liked the Blue Spirit was good. I liked, and okay, let's go ahead and get the fight over with because I know we're gonna argue about it.
Oh, we're
I
gonna
like
argue.
the way they do. I like the way they do firebending in this movie more than the TV.
I do too. I think it makes. I think it.
I've converted. John.
I think it makes.
John.
I know you didn't. I thought this at the very beginning. I thought when I first saw this movie, I thought it was a really good
We
portrayal.
argued about it last season.
Yeah, we did. I think because
Yeah.
when it comes to air, like you always have air, but you have to
Yeah.
have that element to bend it.
Exactly.
The exact same thing with
Exactly.
water. The exact same thing with Earth. You have to have
Why
those.
would fire
You
not
have
be
to have those elements to bend them. When it comes to the Fire Nation, you don't have to. In the cartoon, you didn't have to have fire to bend fire. The Fire
Exactly.
Nation could make fire, like the Firebenders could make fire from their hands, which I could understand.
That's what made them so scary.
I was about to say I could understand when it comes to the I understand both sides because when it comes to the cartoon, it makes them pretty much the most powerful ones other than air, in my opinion, because they can create it from just thin air.
Right.
And when it comes to the movie, like fire is kind of scary too because it can just completely tear up everything. But you do have to have fire to bend the fire. And then I liked it when it came to Uncle because he was one of the only people because he's
Exactly.
mastered that element that could create fire from nowhere. And in the movie, everyone was super scared of him at one point because he
Yeah.
just made fire and like just come from his hands. I thought that was a really cool aspect from them. It was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. And I know they're going to make a live action version of this on Netflix. I don't know if they're going to go this direction, but I really hope they do.
They should. Yep. I actually think that like Iroh's because like in the TV show, Iroh, they say like, oh, he's called the dragon or the fire dragon or whatever they called him. And they never really explain like what makes him different other than the fact that he's good at firebending. This actually gives you a difference that makes him cool. Like he's cool that he can do that. He's the only one that can. It's awesome. I like it. I think it makes more sense. Best change of the movie. Only good change of the movie. Really.
Here's my issue with that is it takes away the power difference between the Fire Nation and the other benders. That's what made them scary. That they could do that.
I still think they're scary though.
And
Exactly.
I disagree because in this movie they treat them like essentially stormtroopers again. They're just fodder.
See, but I disagree with that because fire is the only thing that can. It's the only element that can do something without the firebenders manipulating it. Because let's say that I set this house on fire. I can leave that house alone and it could just catch on fire and catch in flames, and I don't really have to do anything with it. I just have to catch it on fire.
Out of the four elements, it's definitely the most powerful.
It
If
is.
I set this rock in the middle of the house, bugs could grow under it.
Oh, good point.
Oh.
My point is, the source material told us they're gonna they don't need fire to bend, and it makes them stronger. It makes them a more formidable enemy. If you're gonna make it to where they don't need fire and only the strongest can do that, as you said, which is fine. I agree with that. Then make their soldiers a little bit more menacing.
Well, none of the fight scenes in this movie are good though. Like
That's the issue. If they do it the right way in the new one, I'll have no problem with it. My problem with it in this movie is that nothing is done well enough for me to think it's a good idea. Now, in the new adaptation, if they do it the right way, I'll change my mind. But right now, there's just nothing for me to say it's a good idea.
That's what me and Chris were just talking about. We're talking about the concept of it. The concept of it is a good concept that you can't use.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because of that. I agree with you too when it comes to the execution was terrible. The execution with
I
that
would agree
movie,
with you too.
it was terrible, like all around. But yeah,
I agree with you too. If they would have flushed out the firebending like they do in the book in the cartoon, where it's not just that they can do that, but they also have a lot more ships. They have a lot more warriors, and they have that element where they can't firebend without fire. I think it's just as scary as you were talking about, personally. You know what I mean?
so there was one thing about the Fire Nation that I didn't think it made sense. It was during the when Ong, we'll call him Ong. When Ong was he was trying to liberate one of the earth and water like cities or towns.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of trying to motivate them and different things like that. But the Fire Nation had it was like two that they showed. They had two fire pits, like just in the middle of the town, and that's what they used for firebending. And I was like,
it's like, get rid of your
I was
fire.
about to say, if I was one of those like earth and water people, I would have just got like a big bucket of water and just poured it on them there, and like,
I would just start
what are you gonna do?
earthbending.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I would have made sure I had a couple of minutes to make sure I could get my thing going, but
My thing going?
So yeah, and also I just kind of hated that. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but like every time they were fighting, it'd be two people fighting. Everybody else around them would just be standing or falling over with nobody hitting them, or like winding up their fire bending or water bending. Like the fighting in this was so bad.
The choreograph for this movie was very, very weird, to say the least.
Yeah.
hey, just do
I
some
wouldn't-
martial arts for 2
It
minutes.
wasn't. I can't say it was terrible because the movements were cool.
was terrible.
The movements were cool. Like when people were trying,
But
to
they had
do-
no substance.
They didn't.
There was
That's why I say
all
it was weird.
is it just looks pretty,
That's
and that's not
again.
that's not good fight choreography.
I don't know. That's I can't say that it was bad because the moves were cool, but yeah, you're right. It didn't have any. There wasn't any point to it.
So that was bad.
That's why I say it was
I-
kind of weird.
It was just pure bad. It could have been done in 1 or 2 steps. You didn't need to show off. It was a filler.
Yes, they did.
What'd y'all think of Zhao, the main villain?
He was great. I thought he was good.
So okay, hey,
You like him?
do you want to go through each character and just see what we thought about them?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't think
Okay,
there's really a point.
I want
to talk
Chris.
about
I want
plots
Chris
and
to
stuff.
say every single one of them because I want to.
Sure, go okay. Who do you want to start
I'm
with?
putting you on the spot here. I want to
That's
see
fine.
what
Who do you wanna
names
start
you're gonna
with?
come up with.
My question is, where was the cabbage guy?
Where
let's
was
start
the
with-
cabbage guy? That's the real
My
question.
cabbages.
They need him in there. They need him in there.
I hope he's in the live action TV show on Netflix.
All right, so let's talk about Zayo since we're going down order here.
I thought he was a good portrayal.
You liked him.
So
The guy who
yeah,
was-
Zhao.
Yeah, I did not like him. I thought he was standard and boring.
Yeah,
Basic.
I'm Put the hand up. Basic.
Hashtag basic.
It was so basic.
You have to remember that we're judging this on the very low standards of this movie.
Sure.
And
okay.
he was serviceable for Zhao.
I agree. I do agree with Justin. I think he was a good portrayal of the character from the cartoon. I think they probably did better, but I think they did when it comes to the writing. But I think they did cast really good when it came to him.
Okay. What about
Zaku.
I like him. Who?
Zaku.
Zaku. What about Zaku?
All right.
He was too good for this movie. I feel bad that he had to be
the
this.
actor was good when it came to the movie. The same thing when it came to the writing. I don't think that they utilized the actor to the best of his ability. I think they
didn't flesh out
definitely
his,
hindered
demons,
him.
really.
What'd you say?
They didn't flesh out his inner demons, really. They show the scene where he gets burned by his dad, but they don't make a big deal out of it.
It's the same thing when it came to the relationship with Ong. I don't feel like that it was all verbal. The whole entire relationship they had was verbal in this movie, and in the cartoon it's physical. It's they do have some type
I
of
like my relationships. All physical.
They have a relationship, and you can tell that they have a relationship within the TV show. But in this movie, it's all just they're just talking, and they don't talk. They talk at the very beginning of the movie. They talk at the very end of the movie, and there's nothing in between. There's no substance.
Right.
There's no substance anywhere.
What about so we talked about Ira.
Are you talking about guitar? Is that
Iroh.
Oh, Iroh.
Katara is Katere.
Okay, Katere.
Katere.
No,
What? Justin, what's the moon girl's name? I forget her name.
Princess Yue?
Yue, yeah.
Oh boy.
Hold
What about
on.
Princess Ura?
I was right. Princess Yue.
What about Princess Ura? Would y'all like her?
She was terrible.
Yeah, she was almost as bad as Sokka at acting. They both were terrible.
Yeah, she was very pretty. I wouldn't say she was hot, but she was very. The princess was very pretty. They casted when it comes to looks, they casted very well. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
And there's John's input for the podcast. How hot was the main girl?
She wasn't main. She wasn't a main character. She was a side character.
Yeah.
Well, she was my side girl, if you know what I mean. No, that's not. That's not what I mean. I'm sorry. Don't.
I thought the worst scene in this whole movie was when Sokka and Yue were walking around, and she was just like, "Yeah, I'm the moon spirit. Oh yeah, uh-huh. Will you protect me? Always. I love you. I've known you for 3 days."
This was the reason I was born.
Wait, please.
My people are dying, Sokka. Those who are in charge of others have a responsibility. It is time we show the Fire Nation that we believe in our beliefs as much as they believe in theirs. I'm scared. Don't make me any more scared.
How is it that the acting is worse in this movie than it was in the actual animated TV show? You'd think it'd be impossible, but somehow they pulled it off.
Okay, hey, so do you think that they were shooting for what they created? Do you think that was like their master plan?
So here's
I
the
honestly
thing
know.
with Shyamalan. There's conflicting reports that he didn't agree with the studio's the producers' route with it, and he just kind of played second fiddle to it. Like he just said, "Okay, I'm done trying to figure this out. I'll do it for a paycheck." And like the only reason he was hyping it up was because he was still on contract. You know, he had to. He couldn't shit on the movie. I've read that, but I've also heard it was all his idea as well. So there's a lot.
I can see him. Yeah.
There's a lot of conflicting kind of views. I think it's somewhere in the middle where he was told to do things he didn't like, and a lot of it was on him because the actual original creators pretend this doesn't exist.
Good. They shouldn't. It's terrible. I think I can see it being both. I can see him rushing this just to make a few dollars. Like at this point, Shyamalan's movie was just going downhill, downhill, downhill. They've gotten better a little bit since, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was all his idea and he just.
I think he wanted to make it really good, and he could have, but I think there was so much meddling from Nickelodeon and the producers that he just gave up trying to make it a good movie.
Could be.
So I think it was not going to be super amazing without all that, but I think it would have been better if they just left him alone.
Could be.
Or do you think he would have took it into a completely different direction and made it just completely worse?
No, because Shyamalan wanted to do
Because you
this
can't
'cause
get worse than this.
his daughters really liked it, so that's why he took it. I mean, his original script was 7 hours.
Do you think his daughters disowned him after watching it?
I would. He obviously respected the source material.
Right.
Tried to. He did his best. I don't think this was mostly his fault. I think it was a lot of. I think it was half him and half of Nickelodeon butting in, which makes no sense.
I was about to say, so,
Right.
but Nickelodeon had the original cartoon. Why would you think that they would butt in and make it worse?
That's the report. That they wanted this to be more marketable, and I guess whatever he was doing wasn't working for them.
I feel like every time producers say they want to make things more marketable, it's never more marketable. And everybody
Yeah. So I think this was half
just
and
leave
half.
them alone. Just let
Like I
people
said,
do what they
exactly.
want to do.
I think it was half
Yeah.
and half. Because Shyamalan,
I can see
he
that.
could do some. He does some really good stuff, and then he makes some really stupid decisions on his own.
Yeah.
But it's half and half. I think.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was just.
I think my last thing I want to talk about is Uncle Iroh, because y'all seem to
Hey,
like him.
It's not that I liked him, but he was fine. It's Yinsen from Iron Man.
I just think he wasn't written.
It is.
It
just like
is.
everything.
You're
just
right.
like everything else.
Yeah.
I don't think he was written the right way. He's not Iroh.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
He's not like this funny guy who's like, oh, let me finish my tea before we do this, or oh, I'm trying to play a game. Can we not hunt the avatar?
But none of
But
the characters.
But I was about to say, but he's a wise character. That,
Yeah, they got that part, but
that
the
understands that understands the world like no one else does. Everyone understands when it comes to like power or when it comes to just strength. He understands just everything. He understands
I
the
get
spirit
that.
world. He
I
understands
get that part. But
just
the
the
best part of
balance.
Iroh, and one of my favorite parts of Iroh, and I think one of the best, was how just the absent-minded old man he was sometimes, and that made it cool when he was wise. Y'all see the wiseness because we know Uncle Iroh as the character, right?
The way I see it is none of these characters are done in Justice League or in Justice, and I feel like him as a character that's not related to how he is in the movie, he's a good character. Like if you had never seen, I'm sorry, how he is in the cartoon. If you've never seen the cartoon, I would have liked him as a character. You don't like him because of how he is in the
That's my
in the,
problem.
in the show.
That's my
But
problem.
that's how all of them are. That's how all of them are. Aang's not like he is in the movie. Sokka's not as funny.
But
as
Iroh's
none
my
of them are
favorite,
like
and
it.
this pisses me off. Because I love it when he was.
okay.
When,
Okay, so you're just, I see.
Yeah, I was about to say he just hates everything. He hates it, all the
hates
movie.
it's Iroh.
I
understand.
see what you see, Chris. I see that he's
Yeah.
just a solid character within the movie, and I like him for it.
missed
Yeah,
opportunities.
if you don't compare him to the other one, I think it's fine.
Then there's no point in having a podcast if we're not going to compare it. All right, final thoughts.
Justin, oh my God,
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I feel like John's gonna say more than I am.
probably.
So I liked it more than I did when I first saw it.
Oh,
I think
wow.
knowing how bad it was, I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I remember it being. Because I think the plot made more sense than... I think in my head when I was watching it the first time, I was like, oh, they're rushing everything. They're just chopping it up. I think it made more sense, like, what he was doing and what the point they're trying to convey. But, man, this movie... I think the worst thing about this movie is how badly it's paced. Because I timed it. They get to the North Water Temple, the last scene, 55 minutes in, and there's only 25 minutes left. And they just rush everything before that, and then they have like this really drawn out scene of them at the actual water temple. It's just badly paced. Dialogue's terrible. I feel like I can't watch this and not think that Nickelodeon was just trying to make money, or Shyamalan was just trying to make money, and it makes me sad. I'm excited about the Netflix one, but yeah, no points. It was better than I remember it being, but it's still
Darn,
not
I
good.
expected something.
I know, I know.
Okay, so I did like the last 20-25 minutes of the movie. It started at the point where you see Iroh you see him shoot his own fire from his hands, and everyone's scared. It's right when the moon spirit dies. Like, that's when I start to kind of... I thought the last part of the movie was actually pretty good. It was really good graphics. They did a really good job telling the final, I guess, like 20 minutes. When it came to the last 20 minutes of the movie, it felt like the last 20 minutes of book 1 in the cartoon.
Sure.
Like,
and I guess it makes
they lined it up very, very close to what that was, and
and it makes sense that they didn't have him be a big fish. Like, I think kind of like the way they did it, instead of having him become a big fish, like in the show.
Yeah. And she was just like, it was like a vessel. It was like her body was still there, but her spirit was not.
Right.
So
like when she's acting.
Damn. So
Good. True.
that part of the movie I really, really did enjoy. I wish the rest of the movie was like that, where it had it felt like they spent most of their money towards the last 35 minutes of the movie. Right. And my favorite part, I would say, was when Aang he's in his spirit mode. I forget what it's called.
Right.
What is it called?
Avatar state.
The Avatar state. Yeah, he's in his Avatar state. He's lifting up all the water, and then you see like all the ships just. It's a really cool scene. You see all the ships moving out. Scene. You see right before that, you see him like tearing up the whole entire fight area that they were in. And I thought it was just really cool. It was very good choreographed at that point, and that was probably my favorite part of the movie. I did not like the rest of the hour and 25 minutes that I saw of the movie. That was at the very beginning. I thought they did a very bad job portraying all the characters. Just like you said, there was some bad actors, some bad actresses in this movie. You're not getting any points from me. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Justin, before your final thoughts. What y'all think about them setting up the sequel, showing the sister? Ooh, very excited.
She looked pretty good.
She looked crazy, just like in the show.
It was good.
Can't wait for that sequel to come out. Yeah.
That's never gonna happen. Yeah.
No, it's over. Go ahead, Justin.
This movie was so disappointing. There's not really much else I can say. Bad acting.
I'm gonna cut you off right there. That's it. This movie was so disappointing.
I do have to ask, because Chris said it. I didn't say anything. I did think it was better than the first time I saw it. This is only the second time that I've ever seen this movie, so I did think it was better than the first time.
Justin, you agree?
No, it was shittier than I thought.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
I don't know how you'll find anything good.
That's all you have to say about it. It was shittier than I thought. That was my fault.
I really don't understand how y'all find things positive about this, because none of the positives outweigh the terrible script. The bad green screens, the terrible choice of actors and actresses. It just is a shit show. It's not even worth getting mad about.
We never said it outweighed it. We just said that there was some positives within this movie.
I completely disagree.
If it outweighed it, you would have gotten points.
I never said outweighed.
Even if it would have went even, even if it was just even, you probably would have got points.
I'm saying I don't know how you even found a positive.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I had to restart this movie a couple times because I fell asleep.
Of course.
I award myself 0 points.
Dude, what do you do during your day that makes you so tired that you can't even fully watch a movie?
Movies bore me.
What the fans don't know is that we have to wake up Justin like 4 times while podcasting because he always falls asleep. I said it out.
I'm narcoleptic.
All right, John, let's do so 0 points. John, what are we watching next week?
We are watching Dragon Ball, the movie. When it comes to the
it's
not
called
the animation,
Dragon Ball
it's Evolution. I think that's what it's called.
Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah.
It's a live action Dragon Ball movie. It has Goku. It has Piccolo. It has Chi-Chi. It has Bulma, Yamcha.
Yeah.
I am excited. I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited about watching it again. I haven't seen it in a long, long, long time.
I've never seen it, and I don't want to see it.
It's bad.
It's not good.
It's terrible. It really is terrible. But
I'm excited about it.
I'm gonna get some points for this. I know I am. I know. I just know it. I'm gonna be the only one that gets points out of this.
Wouldn't it be funny?
I'm gonna get Piccolo's in this too. He's a great portrayal of Piccolo. It's gonna be great.
I'm excited.
You can find us on social media at Another Man's Pod. You can also email us at anothermanspod@gmail.com. Whoa, okay. I'm just
Pulls
gonna talk
adjusting.
like this from now on. My mic fell, so I'm just gonna hold it for a little bit.
There you go.
Okay,
Keep that
so
in.
I feel like I'm singing. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably pretty loud now. So yeah, you can find us at you can email us at anothermanspod@gmail.com if you want to comment about any of our shows. Please leave comments when it comes to iTunes and Spotify and just those type of platforms. We really appreciate you just following us and sending us a like. If you would like to comment on just any of our episodes, you can do that as well. If you want to, like, if you have a request, then go to our Patreon and donate about $2, and we will definitely take your request on the show or movie that you would like us to comment on and watch. And Justin pretty much hate everything, so
Yep.
Justin hates everything. Yeah, stop flipping me off. I don't like that. All right, it's rude. It's just rude.
It's fun.
It's
But it's
just
fun.
rude.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. We will see you next week with Dragon Ball Evolution.
Peace.